Hello and welcome to Cabernet Chronicles. I am Aimee Lynn,
And I'm Donny, the Peanut Gallery.
and this is a podcast where I get to hold Donny hostage to tell him the things that interest me, and he has to listen. And sometimes he says some things about it.
Sometimes I turn her into the hostage.
it.
Depends on the day.
Yes. So, Donny, have you ever seen the movie Up?
Yes. Old guy. Loses wife. Floats away home. I seem to recall that being Seattle-based of some sort. I think there's a space somewhere northwest Seattle, Ballard, where a house was that somebody did not want to give in to a development project of some sort where a big company came through and built around the house as a result of the guy rejecting. And I think that's where the story came from. Is that right?
Part of the story came from that, yes. But another part of the story is, so if you haven't seen Up, just to give you a little lowdown, a man and a woman meet when they're children. They then have the most beautiful love story you'll ever see in 10 minutes ever. Way better than most love stories in most movies. And it's beautiful, but then his wife dies. And then he doesn't want to sell their home that they've been in, which what you said is then the big mega corporation comes in and builds around him, and they're every day trying to get him to sell. And then he takes balloons and he sails away in his house to where she always wanted to go, which is Paradise Falls. And that's the movie Up and everything. However, part of the inspiration of Up is, yes, the Ballard woman who refused to sell any of her property, but also a man that is now known as Lawn Chair Larry. And he is a man who took a balloon ride in a lawn chair back in the 80s. Larry Walters was born April 19th, 1949, and he had a love for aviation, and he dreamed of becoming an Air Force pilot, like fighter pilot specifically. However, he had poor eyesight, so he was unable to even join the Air Force, and he was unable to become a pilot. So he became a truck driver.
That's a hell of a...
Yes. Well, here's the deal. To become especially an Air Force pilot, you basically have to have 20/20 vision.
Yep.
You have to have perfect vision or do that or above perfect vision. And so it's hard to become a fighter pilot in the Air Force. But however, in order to be a standalone pilot, so if you got your own pilot's license, you still have to do an eye exam for that. And so he couldn't get his private pilot's license either.
He wouldn't wear glasses, so he couldn't fly. Wow.
Or he just had that bad of eyesight that he just couldn't get it. Because of his poor eyesight, he couldn't do that. He became a truck driver. However, at the age of 13, Larry first saw weather balloons in a military surplus store and thought that he could have a very fun flying tool. Those could be the things that make it so he could fly.
At 13?
Yeah, 13. He was like, I want to fly on weather balloons. Because also, apparently at 13, he didn't realize that hot air balloons existed. So Larry grew and became a functioning adult. However, that thought of the weather balloons never left his mind. So at age 33, he decided to tell his girlfriend, Carol, about his dream to use weather balloons in order to fly. So what do you think?
Here it comes.
What do you think Carol, how do you think Carol reacted?
Probably told me he was nuts.
No. She was ride or die, apparently. And she was like, yes, you can do that. I believe in you. However, make sure to plan it out and make sure you have a parachute in case something goes wrong.
There's a life insurance policy. I'm thinking, Jesus, if you're dumb enough to. Okay, well, anyway, let's see how the story ends. Let's not make any.
Honestly,
judgments.
no. If you came to me
That's
and
right.
you said, I want to
go up into space in a rocket that I built myself.
No. So he wasn't going up. He didn't want to go to space.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, these days.
No, but if these days you said, I want to go up in a lawn chair with weather balloons, I'd be like, okay, well,
get the life insurance policy.
Make sure we have like $1 million life insurance policy, and then sure, I guess you can do it.
I'll support you as long as you don't screw me out of my freaking lifestyle.
Like I am absolutely
I'm totally
your
behind
beneficiary for your $1 million life insurance policy if you insist on going up in weather balloons.
I'll support you, dumbass. I mean, babe.
Exactly. I fully support you. But also, like, hot air balloons are a thing.
There's a much easier way to get up into the atmosphere.
No, so she supported him. So in mid-1982, Larry and Carol started to prepare for his flight. Okay. They purchased 45 8-foot weather balloons from the military surplus store and helium tanks from California Toy Time Balloons. And they used forged requisition forms from his employer, which was Filmfare Studios, saying that the balloons were actually for a television commercial.
Jesus, here we go.
Yeah. So it was like a whole thing. And then he purchased a lawn chair from Sears for $109.
Wow.
That's a very expensive lawn chair, right?
Back in the 80s?
Back in the 80s. That would be the equivalent of me buying a $356 lawn chair now. Like, I didn't know they sold lawn chairs that expensive.
Better have battery op massager in it.
It didn't, apparently. But yeah, $109. Again, equivalent of $356 now for a lawn chair.
Hopefully he's writing this stuff off under a business or something. He's just doing it for himself.
No, he was doing it for himself because this was his dream. This was his dream.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so he intended to float over the Mojave Desert and use a pellet gun to burst some of the balloons in order to descend.
This is most hillbilly
Well, yeah, how else are you going to get down when you have 45 weather balloons, right?
You're like, there's Havasu. Hit a couple of balloons. Take me down.
Yeah, that's kind of
Jesus.
what he was thinking was going to happen. So after months of preparation, on July 2nd, 1982, Larry was ready to take to the skies. So in the backyard of Carol's mother's house, so Carol's mom was also ride or die, apparently, because here's the deal.
And this is all in California?
This is in California. This is Southern California.
Okay.
Her mother was like, okay, yeah, totally. You can totally use my yard as the place to do your dream of going up into the skies with weather balloons and a lawn chair. So Larry attached 42, although sometimes it's been reported as 43, balloons to his chair, filled them with helium, put on his parachute and strapped himself into the chair.
At least I would give the man credit. At least he was smart enough to put a parachute on, just in case shit hit the fan.
That was one of the stipulations Carol gave him. Was
Did she keep this guy alive?
To have
a
parachute.
Keep going.
He also attached a couple jugs of water to use as like ballast.
I guess. I mean,
well, so kind of like with hot air balloons.
Yeah. How long is this guy up there for?
You'll learn.
I'm working on it.
You'll learn how long he's been up there.
Where were you?
Kind of like with hot air balloons, they have like the sandbags, and then those will like, and you let go of the sandbags in order to go up higher and stuff. So he did that in his chair.
Okay.
Oh. Now that you know some of the things he did, what do you think he brought with him for his journey on a 42 weather balloon ride in a lawn chair?
I'm going to say a sandwich.
That's one of the things he brought. Okay, so what he took with him was he took his pellet gun that was his brakes basically. A CB radio, 2 sandwiches,
batteries,
2 liters of Coca-Cola,
of course,
a camera, and a pack of beer.
110 or 35 millimeter?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
But he also brought a pack of beer.
Inevitably.
Well, as you should if you're going to be in a lawn chair.
If your shit's starting to go down, start chugging the beer. It'll hurt a lot less.
Very true. So, yes, I'm sure you're like, this is going to be a lovely ride for Larry across the Mojave with his beer and...
Depends on time of year
and everything. It's July.
Oh, shit. Hot as balls.
It's hot as balls on the ground.
That's right. I'm sure it's not great at 3,000 feet.
Oh, yes. Spoilers, it's worse than that.
Bring it.
All right. So before the planned departure, the rope holding Larry and his chair to his Jeep, because the rope was hooked to his Jeep.
Jesus.
It snapped. Rapidly rising Larry up to the height of almost 16,000 feet.
Holy shit, this guy's going to die of oxygen starvation. Holy fuck.
In the opposite direction of the Mojave Desert.
Are you going out to sea?
So instead of going east towards the Mojave Desert,
goes west.
He is going west.
Should have brought a fucking life jacket, bro.
So instead of a leisurely flight over the Mojave Desert, Larry is flying the opposite direction towards Long Beach, California, and the primary approach corridor for the Long Beach Airport.
Oh, shit.
It's reported that at least 4 commercial airplanes, saw him. So bad news for sure. So he was in contact during this time on a CB radio with REACT, which is a citizens band radio monitoring organization. And they recorded this conversation. So, quote.
This ought to be good.
This is REACT. What information do you wish me to tell the airport at this time as to your location and your difficulty? Larry, the difficulty is, this was an unauthorized balloon launch, and, I know I'm in federal airspace, and, I'm sure my ground crew has alerted the proper authority, but, just call them and tell them I'm okay.
Jesus.
React said, well, stay safe and try not to cut it. End quote.
Good luck, motherfucker.
They're a citizens-based stuff, so they don't know what to do. And he is now in federal airspace because he is now in the primary corridor for Long Beach Airport. They maybe should have checked the winds before going.
It's almost like you should be a weatherman to check this shit out if you're going to go up into the air.
Yeah. So after 45 minutes in the sky, remember at 16,000 feet.
That's landing.
No oxygen. The opposite direction of where he meant to go. In the way of planes. And I forgot to mention this, but he's wearing a fucking t-shirt and shorts.
Inevitably.
So while, yes, it's July 2nd in Southern California, so it's hot on the ground at 16,000 feet.
He's freezing his balls off.
Freezing his balls off.
Yeah.
I said fleet, but it is feet. Yes. So he is cold. So Larry shoots several balloons with his pellet guns.
Trying to come down.
But he does it in a way to like balance the load because you don't want to do it you don't want to blow up too many balloons before. Yep. But during that time, he accidentally drops his pellet gun overboard.
Didn't bother tying it to the chair or anything.
That's what I said. Like, your only way of getting down, you didn't tie to the chair.
Yeah, secure it to yourself or the fucking chair.
You didn't tie it to the No, he did not tie it to the chair.
Like, oh, shit. So down on Long Beach, somewhere in a house, some fucking poor kid is like, hey, look, it's a... Oh.
There's a pellet gun that fell on someone around Long Beach in 1982. And he didn't bring an extra. He brought a pack of beer, but he didn't bring a different way to get down. He didn't bring brakes, basically. Like, he dropped his brakes.
Because it's just fucking zip ties.
If this was a fucking, like, car, this would be like, oh, your brakes are out.
This gets more hillbilly by the minute. Like, god damn it.
Yes. So he dropped his only brakes, didn't tie it to his fucking chair. And I'm so happy that you were like, why didn't he tie it to the chair? Yes, why didn't he tie it to the chair? This is the biggest thing.
I mean, you're in there. There's a couple things you want to tie to the chair. It's going to be the 6-pack of beer in some form or fashion. Don't fucking use that.
There's no reports on him dropping his
any beers.
Pack of beer, by the way.
Get the pack of beers secured. Don't let it fucking go anywhere. Don't let the brakes go anywhere.
But maybe the thing that you're using as your brakes, so your pellet gun, you tie to the chair.
Maybe even have a backup. Just saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could have a backup. You could just have a backup.
CO2 cartridge in a handheld pellet gun or BB gun. Yep. You just put the CO2 cartridge in there. You don't have to fucking charge it or anything. You just tie it to there. If you need it, you...
Yep.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he was using. Yeah, but he didn't tie it to the chair, and he didn't bring an extra.
Boy, this guy's right on top of his science. This is top notch.
And also, despite having a camera, he didn't take one picture at all.
Zero fucks about research.
Right? So he's up there at 16,000 feet just like, oh, shit.
Fucking amateur.
But however, with the balloons he was able to pop, he descends very slowly. And then
he's still in federal airspace. God damn it.
And he gets he gets tangled up in power lines. and actually the power goes out for 20 minutes because of him.
Oh, screwing everybody on the way down.
But he is able to land on someone's roof unharmed.
Did he use the parachute?
No, he didn't use the parachute at all. Like, I think he forgot about the parachute because, again, the parachute was something that Carol, his girlfriend, was like, you need a fucking parachute.
So he's just sitting against it the whole time like, oh, shit.
He's just like, oh, no, it's cool. I'll just shoot the balloons and I'll descend slightly. It's
Again,
fine. I don't need to use my parachute.
This shit gets more hillbilly by the minute.
Yeah. So he lands unharmed and he is arrested immediately by Long Beach Police Department.
Like, hey, nice work, dumbass. You're going to jail.
So the regional safety inspector, Neil Sauvé, is reported to have said, quote, "We know he broke some part of Federal Aviation Act, and as soon as we decide which part it is, some type of charge will be filed. If he has a pilot's license, we would have suspended it, but he doesn't have one." End quote.
It's getting hard to actually do anything about this guy.
Because again, he didn't have a pilot's license because of his eyesight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he is initially fined $4,000 for violations under the U.S. Federal Aviation Regulations,
FAA. Yeah.
including operating an aircraft within airport traffic area without establishing and maintaining two-way communications with the control tower. He was able to appeal that to just a $1,500 fine. Also, the charge of operating...
Look, these charges are really sophisticated.
Yes.
And I am not. So
yes.
If you could just bring it down to my level, that'd be
No,
great.
no,
Thanks.
just wait till the next part of this. Just wait till the next part of this. Oh my goodness. The charge of operating a civilian aircraft for which there is not currently in effect of airworthiness certificate was dropped because it was not applicable to his class of aircraft. Because basically they didn't have a law saying you couldn't fly a lawn chair with balloons at the time.
He hired a really good attorney.
So in all of that, he got a $1,500 fine.
The attorney's like, "Look, where's your class for a fucking lawn chair, dickheads?" And they're like, "Ah, shit."
Exactly. So that got dropped.
Oh, God.
So he only paid $1,500 for his whole adventure. And after he landed, he became a media superstar. And he talked to the press and said, quote, "It was something I had to do. I had this dream for 20 years and I hadn't done it. I think I would have ended up in the funny farm. Also,
Buddy.
yeah. Also, since I was 13 years old, I dreamed of going up into the clear blue sky in a weather balloon. By the grace of God, I fulfilled that dream, but I wouldn't do it again for anything." End quote.
Oh, shit.
So Larry became famous overnight, and he appeared on Letterman, as well as he was in a Timex print ad as well. And he became a motivational speaker. However, his fame did start to dwindle off, and he didn't make as much money from the fame as much. And yeah. And he and Carol ended up breaking up. And Larry then had a lot of trouble getting jobs. And unfortunately, in 1993, at the age of 44, Larry took his own life.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
All the employers are like, "Hey, you going to try and fucking hook weather balloons up to this building or what?"
I don't know, probably. Like, I think when you're a person who has a dream and you reach that dream and then you can't get any higher
it's
from
like the fucking
either.
dog that chases the car, and by the time he gets to the car and actually gets it, he doesn't know what to do with it.
That's probably what kind of maybe
It's like,
had
I
happened.
caught it. Now what?
Now what? What do I do with this? Yeah, so that's unfortunate. However, Larry's legacy does live on. So the lawn chair that he used in his flight, he actually, so it landed on a house, and a kid was can I have your lawn chair? And he's like, sure, kid, have my lawn chair. So the kid took it home and had the lawn chair. And it was a kid named Jerry.
Take it to a museum.
And yes. And so Larry did regret doing that later in life. He was like, I wish I didn't give the lawn chair.
Yep.
However, in 2002, 20 years after Larry's flight, Jerry, the little boy, contacted Mark Berry, who is the pilot who runs the website for that chronologically talks about Larry's flight. And he said, oh, I still have the chair in my garage.
What?
Yeah. And so in his garage, 20 years later,
holy shit,
was the chair that not only had some of the balloons and the cables still attached,
tied to it,
but he also still had some of the ballast, like, so the
that's great.
And so the chair was placed in the San Diego Air and Space Museum.
Really?
And it was exhibited until 2014, where then it was later donated to the Smithsonian. So now you can see Lawn Chair Larry's lawn chair that he used
original spacecraft
to go up into the skies 16,000 feet. It is now on display at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C.
No shit. I have to make it to that one. That's worthy.
Yes. So we can go see that one.
Between seeing the house in Ballard surrounded by building, right? And then going and seeing that'd be
Lawn Chair
a great
Larry's.
tie.
Because he was one of the first people to use cluster balloons as a way of transportation. To where they didn't have a law against it yet.
Yeah, that's you know you're fucking shit up when people have to make laws because of the stuff that you did.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that is the story of Lawn Chair Larry Walters.
His last name is Walters.
Yes.
Cosmo.
Oh.
Watch out, Mandy.
Watch out. Don't let Cosmo buy any weather balloons.
That's right. Oh, God.
Yes, but there are laws now against it. At the time, there weren't.
Are they federal or are they state?
Yes.
Okay, they're federal. Okay, I was going to say. You might have
they're federal now. You can't soar up in your $109, so a $350 lawn chair.
Yeah.
I'm still so confused about how a lawn chair costs that much. I think this is the part of the story that actually gets me the most, is the fact that there was a lawn chair
in 82.
In 82 that cost $109.
Well, back in the early 80s, I mean, not to get too far off track here, but a Ferrari was like $20,000, and everybody was like, holy crap, can you imagine paying $20,000 for a car?
Yeah, could you imagine paying $109 for a fucking lawn chair?
Sorry, oh God, okay, yes, sorry.
Like, could you imagine paying $109 now for a lawn chair?
That no, it'd be
let alone
it'd be $300.
1980.
Yeah,
well, no, but I'm saying just now.
Just now, yeah.
If you were like, I want this $100 lawn chair, I'd say, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, no,
let
fuck
alone
off.
a $300 chair.
Let alone a $350 lawn chair.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
If I were going to do it for science, I might spend the money, especially if I'm going to get the notoriety out of it. Because look, here we are. How many years later?
He didn't know he was going to get the notoriety. But again, was this lawn chair made of like titanium? Like I don't know how a lawn chair could be $109 in 1982.
You know,
this is the part of the story that I cannot get my head around. Yeah, use balloons to go up in a lawn chair. do that. But the lawn chair was $109.
People with money will spend that. I mean, if you're a billionaire, what's $300 for a fucking lawn chair? Grab a dozen of them.
He wasn't a billionaire.
I know. I'm just saying that they existed.
But it was at Sears. Oh. At Sears had a lawn chair that was $109 in 1982.
Sears was like,
why are you not freaking out like I am?
I don't have the same appreciation.
Again, I feel like this lawn chair must have been like titanium, and it must have been made
solid
for like
gold.
Yeah, it must have been made for
gold.
Super heavy people, because all of the lawn chairs I've ever bought in my life have been under $50, and that's now, and they can hold 400 pounds. I mean, so
it's a thing. It's a meme.
When I was growing up and I was camping with my family, my mom's best friend's boyfriend broke a fucking lawn chair. It literally
see, that's what you get for the
$35
lawn chairs.
But that was only a like $20 lawn chair.
See, you go for the $100. They could hold that weight, maybe.
A $50 one now would hold his weight.
Technology
so again,
advances.
That's what I'm like. It was $109 in 1982.
It's like a $10,000 chair now.
It's a $350 chair now.
That's not bad.
I've never seen a $350 lawn chair. Because if you see the picture of the lawn chair,
at home. I think it was $800. You see it all the time.
If you see a lawn chair, the lawn chair it's literally like a lawn chair.
Yeah,
it's a normal lawn chair.
Not for $100 and something back in '82. God damn, must have been Supreme. Did it have a Supreme tag on it?
I don't know. This is the thing that is freaking me the fuck out about this whole thing. I can't get around it.
Never mind the 16,000 feet held together by weather balloons. Your trip is the price of the fucking chair.
Oh no. I expected him to end up at way too fucking high of a fucking altitude. It's the $109 chair that is the part that I can't wrap my brain around.
My question is, how much was the parachute that he didn't actually use?
He didn't use it, and we don't know because he didn't use it, and he didn't tell us that part.
I wonder how much one of those things was back
then. Someone did ask him later in an interview, like I think it was Letterman, because he went on Letterman. Letterman was like, "Why didn't you just jump out of your like lawn chair and use your parachute?" And he said, "Oh, I didn't know how to use my parachute."
Honey, take this. It'll save your life. Okay.
He's like, I never actually learned how to use the parachute. So
what do I do with this thing on my back?
And he's like, but I still have my BB gun, so it was fine. Yeah, so again, I'm not ride or die. If you're like, babe, I want to go up in a lawn chair with a bunch of balloons, I'm going to be like, yeah, no.
Hon, here's an EpiPen. This will save your life. Okay, thanks. It's fucking has an anaphylactic shock situation and just is like, what do I do? Am I supposed to, do I eat it?
Yeah, again. So I'm not ride or die. If you are going to ask me to do some dumb shit, I'm going to be like, wait, what's our life insurance like?
Yeah, I was going to say.
What's our life insurance say?
You're better off asking the questions about the policy because if I make it that far, I don't know how much your help is going to help the situation.
Yeah, so Carol was very ride or die with that. And
well, kudos to her. Whatever happened to her.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't know. But Lawn Chair Larry.
Sounds like a follow-up episode.
He made his flight. It went all kinds of wrong. And he only really had to pay $1,500 for that. And he became famous for it.
She would have been more famous if he had to use the parachute. Like, this motherfucker jumped out of a lawn chair, had a parachute strapped to him, and still bounced off the ground.
Wait, what? Isn't that something that happened? Actually, didn't this happen recently where a guy went up with like the suit and he had like the oxygen, and so he was prepared for it, and he went up like basically to the like almost the stratosphere of the earth, and then he went down and parachuted out of it. Isn't that something that I feel like that's something that has
it's like
happened?
a Red Bull thing that happened, but like
it's
not like he bounced.
So, but they got it from Lawn Chair Larry.
They're like, wait, if we can go up to the stratosphere, do the same shit as this guy, we can get higher than him, and put him in a spacesuit.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
And no, so they did have he did actually have a spacesuit.
There's video shoots of the guy in the fucking stratosphere.
He was absolutely prepared to be that high.
Well, sure.
Lawn Chair Larry thought he was only
the inspiration for that.
Yes, and Lawn Chair Larry was only supposed to go in his mind 3,000 feet up, but he went up to 6,000.
You know, leave it to Red Bull.
But that is the story of Lawn Chair Larry Walters, who inspired many things within pop culture, including the Red Bull commercial. Thank you so much for being here, and like and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.